Just Oh, hello. We're finally live.
Yes.
Sorry to everyone waiting for this. I think this is Freehands Friday number. It looks like it's number 39. I'm Justin Levis, and we're interviewing Konrad Park, otherwise known as Radcon, or what are some of your other other aliases, Konrad?
Funk red, rock red, stick red.
Yeah, you've got the monopoly on all the rads.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, where do we start? What's your earliest memory of Chapman Stick, either hearing or talking about it or anything? How
Well,
far back does it go for you?
it was just you and I hanging out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like I remember coming around to your place with Beat and Three of a Perfect Pair,
Mm.
and just like everyone else, like so many people just walking around with that that Tony Levin sound,
Mm.
or that Justin Levin's sound. And especially like Three of a Perfect Pair seemed to be it's that really knocky kind of super compressed sound that Tony had.
Mm.
It just really struck me as like a drum sounding bass. It was so unique, and I just knew that somehow I knew back right then I wanted to know more about the stick.
Find
And
out. Yeah, find out what it was.
yeah, and then of course Emmett's guitar player article so lucid in terms of like explaining concepts, and for like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old Gemini drummer who likes to do 50 million things at once, I'm going, you mean I can play drums and bass and keyboards? So I started looking for it. You remember fretted instruments?
Yeah, yeah.
Fretted instruments, Australian music stores, and I got made it as far as Queensland, I think, on one of my first tours, and that that stick that I found in that one, there was like two sticks in Australia at that point, which is about 1988, or in the shops anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And I found the thing, it was really, really badly set up. It was missing one string. It looked pretty small. I thought, is that it? Yeah. So I just didn't even pick it up. I was like, you know what, I'll leave that for a bit. And it's probably good that I did because, the drum career and the drum thing probably wouldn't have developed
Probably
very
wasn't
well.
the right time.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
then, it's when you came down to Hobart and Tassie and brought it down and said, "You got to come over. I've got it."
Well, I almost didn't. I almost didn't call you because I was just down at Dad's place, and I thought, hey, I've got this stick here. Why not give Conrad a call? What you were driving past? You were about 10 minutes away, weren't you?
Yeah. I was just
Just
around
happened
the
to be driving
corner,
past on the highway.
being a floozy. Yeah, that was the best day of that year.
I was like, come and see this Chapman Stick instrument that I have no idea how to play.
Yeah. Just the feeling of putting the fingers on the instrument, you know.
Mm.
Because yours was the Paduk at that point, wasn't it?
Oh no, I think it was Rosewood.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
sort of early '90s Rosewood.
yeah, and it was such a clean, fat, direct sound. Even
Mm.
I was bitten by the bug.
So what?
Yeah.
Now, how? Yeah, I mean, how long after that did you get one? I can't remember now.
Well,
A little
we
while.
were on the phone and guest bagging, and then I was just recently acquired a credit card at that point,
Oh, no.
so I held off until I was 36? No, long, something like that. And of course, I still don't own this thing.
You're still paying the bank.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a pretty amazing day. That when it arrived at Eastern Shore in Hobart, and
Mm.
just I opened that case and I said to my guitar friend who I was living with in that house, it's Julius Schwing. He's the
Oh yeah.
guitarist on that 2010 picture,
Mm.
the seminar. and Julius was there, and they remember what a moment that was. And it just occurred to me, like I said to myself, the household seemed to reverberate with the possibility of 1,000 notes. You know, it was just like Emmett's kind of spirit and his character, and the fact that he set this thing up. You know, it's like a gift of potential creativity. Just
Yeah.
here you go. What can you do with it? You know.
I mean, when you first got that, what was your approach? I mean, what did you look for inspiration, or what were you into at the time when you got it, or did you just try and sort of, tackle it completely fresh?
I remember having no amp. Didn't have a preamp for even like 6 months, right? So I remember sitting at home at night, acoustically, just going like this. You know, just because I was big on the idea of sustain. I think after, you know, when you brought Bob Culbertson out in 2007, and like that really kicked me off, you know, in the right direction. And I think when he was talking about getting so much sustain out of the instrument, I was really big on that, and I think I'd maybe choose graphite because apparently he had a lot of sustain. You know, Bob was always really big on talking about how to bring out the sound.
Oh yeah.
The typewriter thing, you know.
Yeah, and playing right off the as close to the fret as possible, sort of just to get that extra clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I just play something?
Oh, if you want, yeah, why not? We can come back to other things.
What were you going to say?
No. I was just going to. I mean, yeah. I think a few people have mentioned. Yeah. Gene mentioned in the introduction. You've obviously been posting quite a lot of sort of instructional videos and sort of hints and tips and things, especially around bringing sort of drum technique and things like that to the stick. So, yeah, how about play a bit and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, cool. This is a bit of an Aussie musical joke, which I know you'll get.
Jazz note.
All right.
Very nice. I thought I probably have that CD behind me actually somewhere in my pile of CDs.
Yeah.
But it's all out of order now. My OCD's been slipping. They're all out of order.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you remember Ice House? Ivor Davies did that tour last year,
Yeah, yeah.
and I thought of posting it up there, and I wasn't really feeling it, so I missed that opportunity.
I'm sure he
Time,
would have loved it.
yeah, I think you might.
He would have gone, what on earth is that thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing about some of those really bizarre little videos of mine that are just about you know flimsy ideas or musical ideas based on a whim, or wanting to just share different stuff. I mean,
They're usually coming from something that you're already either totally proficient with or studying and as part of your sort of musical offerings, I guess.
yeah. It's just little things that I found were helpful along the way. I mean, the whole thing about the drum parts, it's pretty malformed. That was just an idea at that time. I think it's just something fun to share. But it really strikes me, with stick is that there's that everyone gets their stick, and then there's that sort of honeymoon period, and then 6 months later, there's that point where you go, what the hell am I really going to do with this? And a lot of folk kind of find that period difficult.
Yeah.
It's like you end up sort of having to try and find some kind of vague sort of practice routine or things that you might want to focus on. But I don't know. I just there's a couple of things I've noticed that might be helpful. Say if you start getting into your triad positions and
you'll have to back off a bit and maybe tilt the. Yeah, we can't quite see. Oh yeah, that's probably better if you play high on the neck. Yep, that's good.
Actually, how's this go?
Go walkabout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
Anyway, if you might start off by getting comfortable with just single line stuff. Yeah, we practice that kind of rhythm thing, but like stick is much like piano in the sense that we get into that. There's a few kind of stick defaults, I reckon, that we share. One of those would be if we're staying a lot of the time on pianistic style and stuff, like the arpeggios, they tend to really, you can get locked into that place, and it tends to, get speed up a lot, or you're stuck,
Yeah.
Like with Bob taught us that arpeggio that we all know.
Yeah.
That's cool because it sort of frees you up a bit. But by the same token, like a really big deal for stick players, it seems, is to try and think melodically. Like having a actual sense of developing melody. So, if you look out from the triad, so if I just think, there's the, if I think in any direction around the triad, I've got a. And if I actually start, instead of just thinking about the motor side of what I'm doing, really try to listen to the notes that are within that triad, and make conscious decisions based on on what melodies I want to hear. If I just stay up here, like, you know, they've got 3 notes there, and if I think about, do I want to go, you know, up from the here, or do I want to go, or do I want to go, you know, like they're just the conscious choices I can make. But making a conscious choice brings you out of that that thing about being stuck in one place, you know. You know, from there you can just easily go down, like, you know, a tone below, on the string below, or
Yeah. Well, isn't that where you're thinking ahead a little bit to see where you want to go and where do you want to end up for the next idea that you want to get out?
Yeah, you know, it's like there's kind of the independence challenge about being in one chord and moving the hands around rhythmically, but then there's the other independence challenge of moving chords itself, you know. Well, that's a bit of a toughie sometimes. So I suppose, you know, we're really lucky to have all these materials now with all the videos and books.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's great to be able to go, I don't know, from a very sort of boxed in chordal thing, like, you know, the fourth tuning. That stuff's great to start with, you know, but then within that boxed position, you know, you might start just thinking melodically within the triad.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's sort of the issue I'm facing as a bass player moving to the stick. But I guess now, I mean, that you're studying composition at the moment, aren't you? And I guess you've spent a lot of time transposing and actually, getting your theoretical skills up. So I think that's obviously showing through in your playing as well. So how have you sort of seen that part helping out?
It's pretty huge. I mean, it's that definitely, even just the listening I've been able to do, and I'm just negotiating a treble and bass clef, like, so much better. Yeah, that's been, you know, it's been so good for my head to just know that I can, you know, I know where it is now, you know. I can just go to those notes, and starting to reconcile that with, you know, the fact that this is like 5 or 6 ledger lines, whatever it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, but then, yeah, just the coming back to the idea of melody, like just having a really good sense of melody, you know, it's actually made me slow down. The listening I've done and the understanding of the different tasks of part writing and all that just makes you appreciate how things come together.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's the aim, like the overarching sort of stick rat aim is to, you know, like with all, you know, those crazy the soundtracks I used to bring around at home at your place, you know, like Alien and Jerry Goldsmith and John Williams and all that, you know, like who didn't have Star Wars, you know?
Oh, there's a few people on the planet, not many.
Yeah. So yeah, just being able to, I've transcribed like 6-page version of Princess Leia's theme.
Wow.
You know, for stick, you know, and it's just listening to all the orchestral parts, you know, and trying to condense those. But that's just one of like about 20 Sibelius files that I've got.
Okay.
I was kind of spinning my wheels a little bit when I was in Melbourne. I did quite a lot of good playing with the drum side of things, but I spent far too much time in Sibelius, you know. So I've actually got I've got something like a lifetime's work of
Yeah.
transcriptions and stuff that I'm in terms of stick, I'd never really need to go back and do any more. If I could probably just settle on all those.
Oh, as long as you do it 1 or 2 a year just to keep the skills up and
Yeah,
spend the time playing and composing.
yeah, yeah. But, I mean, anything from that to the chain lightning thing.
Mm.
I tried to get that one down before today.
Yeah.
Should we give it a crack? But,
What have you been doing gig wise on stick particularly? What have you got coming up, and what sort of things, projects have you got on the go? Sort of.
yeah, well, because of uni again, like I've had to really settle down and get stuck into study and really find my feet with all that.
Yeah.
So I've only just because of the freehand sessions, I only started practicing again like last fortnight.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you've had to move back to Hobart from Melbourne, so that yeah, sort of threw things around a bit.
Yeah, yeah. But just uh, yeah, I've just started playing more solo. I really want to keep on forging towards that
Mm.
sort of solo repertoire and do some class
Self-sufficient.
skiing.
Yeah.
You know, because
Is
that's
that is that deliberately to put yourself under pressure? I mean, in a way, just to actually prove yourself.
yeah, it is kind of really. I mean, I think it's really important to be able to just front up solo and play.
Mm. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
think.
getting more and more fearless about that.
Yeah.
Like Scott, Neville and Carlin and all those guys, they just go out and feck it, they just play.
Oh, look at and some of Andy's gigs. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a professional.
Yeah. So I'm getting more and more like that, being able to just go out and play and it's pretty amazing. That's the same thing about when you play a gig and then you come home and the things you practice are just so much more direct and musical. The gigging feeds the practice, and practice
Yeah,
feeds the gig.
yeah, true. Yeah,
So, I mean, that start that I made with the Stick Rad Trio in 2010 at the seminar with none other than David Jones and Adam Simmons. That to this day I still can't get over how I actually pulled that off.
well, that was
you know,
yeah.
well, I was so up at the edge of my abilities, and I was so
Yeah,
lucky to have the support of David and Adam just to go there with me.
yeah.
But that's now that's carried on down in here at Hobart with Sam Dowson on drums. Who's an old student from Hutchins. He's a great
Okay.
drum player down here, Lord Smash Bass.
Mm.
He's a really good drummer. And yeah, we're doing like a stick and drums duo for now. I'm looking out to find other keyboard players.
Okay.
People that are kind of into the VST sounds and can play as well.
Yeah.
But that's you've got a limited gene pool down here, even though it makes it easier to connect with the communities. It's a great thing. It's a lot of good things happening here now.
Oh,
But
I wouldn't say Sydney was any better, and it's how much bigger than Hobart. Music-wise, it's pretty limited.
yeah, yeah,
Wise, anyway. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I suppose like coming back to those videos, I've always really enjoyed just practicing like the motor, the physical side of practice.
Yeah.
Sitting around and I always seem to sit down on stick and just go for the B. It's probably the drum thing, but I'm just really happy to sit there and try and I like practicing. It makes me feel good physically and it makes me feel grounded.
The rudiments.
Yeah, just moving really well. I reckon that's another one of those key challenges for stick players. It's like that's why Greg's Greg's DVD was such a boon for me because he really freed up that full motion, you know.
Oh yeah, I can see it in the playing. See it in your especially your Bayside playing.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Remember, like he even told me after the 2010 weekend about the classic problem with left hands for stick players that you end up locking it down real hard like this, and I was doing that. That was my first kind of major improvement is to.
Oh well, I'm still stuck there, mate.
I don't think so, Colin.
No, I am.
What about the? What?
That's just a gimmick. Yeah, that's just one of my marketing gimmicks that I brought from base.
We want to hear those next week.
Oh dear, I'll have to practice then.
I don't practice; that'll ruin it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the really big movements. I reckon such a key thing for stick players because it takes us away from the typewriter sound. Like I've been on Stickist a lot talking about practice, and Andy takes the piss and calls me Sensei Stick Rat and all that. Which is pretty much the attitude, I suppose, But yeah, just I think on any instrument, if you can exaggerate motion and actually get good at that playing quietly,
Yeah.
Same thing. I just. Just really simple things can really help you to. That in combination with thinking melodically. So. You just get used to that kind of playing confidently, and when you're playing quietly.
With dynamics.
Yeah, it's great to come right in on that.
Yeah.
That level, I reckon. If you're a bit cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then
you always want to be conscious of ergonomics and overusing muscles and things like that.
Yeah, for me, the hardest thing on this instrument was to really settle down at a gig. When I was nervous, it's really hard to settle down and stop missing notes and just
tension in the hands.
Yeah, So I reckon that's a big one. If you can learn to kind of, if I once I was able to learn how to settle down and not, put so much energy into everything. There's another thing about.
Yeah. Drive strings through the fretboard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The instrument. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just this instrument for me has been such a gift in terms of being able to express melody and harmony. And as a drum player, I've always played with so much intensity, like an emotive intensity, So then I've wanted to translate that to this even more so at times, but I've always been, the expression that I've wanted to give has always been far beyond my capacity to play technically, So
or at least
Nah.
You've got to quieten your voice down.
Yeah, go like, okay, this is as good as it is right now. If I get that into it in this next phrase, it's just something's gonna go wrong, and I'm gonna drop something. And
how's your? I'm just wondering, how's your hearing after how many years of drumming? Have you lost a bit of time? Pardon.
Yeah, well, it's
No.
I've pretty much got permanent tinnitus. It's medium low level, I would say.
Yeah.
So what I do is consciously try to turn everything down in the car, headphones. I've actually on the Macs. I've just taken off the when you change your volume.
Yeah.
And it goes brick, that
Oh,
little funny noise.
yeah.
I've turned that off. You know, just little things like that, really hard percussive, like
Harsh. Anything. Yeah, sort of deliberately harsh.
yeah. So it's yes, I'm getting better at just turning stuff down, I suppose. The damage is done,
Yeah.
I mean, same like at uni, Heath Brown, like he used to play in metal bands. He used to play
Yeah.
bass in metal bands. So he's got damage, but he writes, he's an award-winning composer for film, and he's
Mm.
got lots of awards, and it's a tremendously musical character. But he's doing all of that within the limitation of having some kind of tinnitus.
Okay. Mm.
But it's all right. I'm using the plugs and all that, the gigs. If I'm.
Yeah, we all know better when it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I could talk about like some of the first things I ever wrote.
Yeah, have you come back to them?
Well, yeah. Just like there's so many ways you can come at this thing. But I remember the first thing that I wrote that was of any kind of success. It was actually the first thing I played at that 2010 concert again. But I
Oh, yeah.
remember it was pretty dodgy. Like that thing took the whole intro to settle down.
Yeah.
But the way I came at that, I love the geometry of Stick.
Mm.
I love the fact that if you come down at like this, if you just come down like this, so you're just going down one string, one fret.
Mm.
So that's a augmented fifth triad. So I just like that sound, and then what I did was develop it out from there. So
Mm.
and
Oh, yeah, sounds familiar.
yeah, then just go down one fret with that. So what is that? Yeah, going back the other way. And then this bit was just me ripping off Eberhard Weber. Yeah. So that melody's so that's from Eberhard Weber in Colours, the Yellow Fields. I think it's yeah, I don't know which track, I can't remember now. I think it's Left Lane or something. So from that thing just developed outwards. So it just started off with the shape. I know
Yeah.
geometry is such a good fun part. This here was just like thinking in a minor, apart from all that crazy stuff like a minute ago, like it was just thinking like in a minor sense, and then just staying in the same position. Yep. So I got the lead down there. after the sort of heavier bits. But that stuff is just I'm just mucking around with shapes,
Mm.
and then just going from like a shape-wise idea, to some kind of geometry, and then going, oh, maybe I should just think of something actually chordal, something standard chordal melodic, minor, just take it out, and then go from the abstract, the geometry, the abstract, back to the harmony, and just fiddle around with ideas, because that's what Emmett, I think, is trying to say sometimes,
Mm.
just play whatever impetus you want to use on this thing. If I can just think about any kind of direction and apply it, and then if that really helps my musical tastes, move
it's
forward.
pretty wide canvas because of the tuning setup and just how many notes you've got available to you within close reach.
Yeah.
What's that? I mean, I've probably by now everyone's seen the stick you've got there. That's
getting a bit bright here.
That's a standard 10 graphite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, what Emmett say that they're a collector's item now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing graphite anymore, so it's kind of nice,
Well, we're both rich men in the future then.
Yeah. But it's I was just told that the graphite, I mean, it just appealed to my sci-fi sensibilities, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or just something really simple and strong.
Yeah.
But the 10 string, like the idea that I racked my brain trying to think, do I want to go match reciprocal? Well, what do I really want to do here? I thought just go with the master's first idea, first thought, best thought. If Emmett's playing, at that time when I bought it, Emmett was playing 10-string graphite in classic, and I thought, that's just seems the perfect way in on it. But I know there's a whole bunch of other reasons why you wouldn't do that. Just really, for me, my approach to this thing is to try and get as much out of it as I can on just 10 strings. I want to try and put as much music as I can in with that conceived limitation.
And don't fall into the trap of saying, oh, what if I change tuning, I could suddenly be 10 times better. No, it's not likely.
Yeah.
Just run with what you've got and milk it. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
What pickup settings are you normally using? Do you vary them?
No, I've only barely changed the passive. I haven't moved it around much because I just like that really super clean sound. I don't like it when
using both pickups on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I don't even know what they call it, like the really discreet one.
Well, it's probably just the standard series. Oh, I can't remember what. But it does sound very much like Bob Culbertson's Active 2 sound. A very rich, thick sound with a lot of clarity.
Yeah, I'm going the furthest to the left. Whatever that is. I sometimes go up to the clavinet sound for a bit of a Stevie Wonder fest.
Bit of a laugh.
But I'm not exactly fluent in that,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, luckily I didn't have to play that last night at my gig. Oh, it's got a bit dark in.
Yeah, it's Tasmania, mate.
Is it the Rapture?
Makes me look more handsome now, not so washed out.
Your stick's invisible now.
Is it?
No, not quite.
So what about something else? I play just because I just for the hell of it, Chris Crane.
Oh yeah.
I really like I was seen on stickers to be talking about Chris's stuff, and I really felt encouraged by Chris's method and just his
Mm.
voice on the book. He's really just straightforward approach to stick as he sees it, and I bought the stick e-lessons, and um, I think the first cover I did was his song,
Oh yeah.
Horizon. So
Mm.
maybe just play that.
Yeah. Oh, I can see the glowing inlays.
Yeah, cool. You like that one?
Very nice. Thank you. That sounded like you've been practicing that, or it's just stuck with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good how when you sort of got something underhand, you feels
Mm.
working. Um, yeah, so um, I think Yeah, it's just you can really just there's too many things to do that are just so much fun, aren't there? On this
Mm-hmm.
thing, like it's just easy to get lost in a whole bunch of worlds. Whether it be I don't know. I suppose I'm just beginning to get a little more settled down in terms of sticking to um, covers, originals, certain types of practice.
Yeah,
Just a little bit. I reckon. I mean, I'm still not really consistent with it, but I reckon one of the best things that any musician can do for themselves is to go, you know what, if I just do a little bit, what's that, the drummer, um, Kenwood Denard,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
played Jack of Astoris and all that sort of stuff, and Kenwood had a video called Just Advance, and I think
Yeah.
it's an awesome idea because if you just think, you know what, I'm just going to do a little bit more today than yesterday, or just go and do something, it takes away the whole drama around I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not doing anything. Is just sitting down on the couch going, well, instead
The
of thinking
guilt,
that
the
again,
guilt.
yeah, the guilt, the
The guilt.
humanity,
I'm not practicing 3 hours a day. Oh, the guilt.
yeah,
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 break it apart. Yeah, good idea.
yeah. I basically, at the moment, I'm just if I have to study, I'll sit down and try and play for 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and then I'll just feel much better about pen and paper, manuscript, getting on with the study.
and I'm sure you'll learn something in that 10 minutes. You'll probably learn something in the first 1 minute,
Yeah, yeah,
or you'll find something that you need to improve, or something, anything. Yeah, something beneficial.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Um,
I was just having a thought. I mean, it's only a sample of two people, being yourself a drummer, originally a drummer, and myself a bass player. It seems like you're very drawn to the melody side of the instrument, and I'm very drawn more to the percussion, the percussive, and maybe the interplay side. So I don't know whether that's just something, whether there's anything because of what we've been playing for a while now, and we're drawn to almost the opposite.
yeah, absolutely.
Or is it? Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone has a lot of musical interests and things they want to achieve, but if you strip it all back to, yeah, what's the one thing you'd want to play if you only had, yeah, a year to live? What would it be? For me, it would be the percussive Tony Levin stuff, but I think for you it would be something much more melodic or chordal. Yeah,
Yeah,
does that make sense, or is that how you feel?
yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, in my wildest dreams, I basically want to create a mini orchestra on this.
Yeah,
You know,
but
but while
yeah,
that's impossible in terms of actual notes and the intensity of the notes, what I want to achieve and convey and express is the emotional intensity of,
yeah,
say, an orchestral piece like Princess Leia's theme has got the whole flute cadenza and the whole disaster in there. So
yeah,
I want to be able to express that big a sound on
the
on
essence of
one
it.
instrument.
Yeah.
And I'll get there, but yeah, it's definitely that's my focus is harmony being and melody, like just being all those soundtracks, listening to all that great music. I'm just a freak for you know the alien chord, or whatever else. Whereas yeah, it's a bit like it definitely fulfills another part of our musicality, doesn't it? Like it's a pretty clear fact right there that it fulfills that thing we're not able to do on other instruments.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to say I've always been a wannabe drummer, but just don't have the physical dexterity, or the time to actually to develop that physical dexterity. So hey, my hands are more able to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what comes across, with that big graphite sound of yours. It's just that
mm.
it's just got a big sound. Always love that. But yeah, coming back to it's I remember because we haven't got any of our American brothers or sisters here today. I remember them in one of the sessions. There were Dale was asking about what is there an Australian sound?
ah, in general.
excuse me, yeah, or like an Australian stick sound.
Mm,
But that kind of, I think those kind of ideas are very subjective. And if you take an example like if you, if you look at the total Australian picture of music so far, you could pick,
mm,
say, you could go anywhere from, say, Midnight Oil to Peter Sculthorpe, right?
mm.
And anyone can make personal associations about an Australian sound outside of the country because that's just how they hear it.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
case in point with Peter Sculthorpe, we're talking about him because he's actually Tasmanian, used to live up in Launceston, and the Russell, our lecturer, was ripping shreds off these journalistic tirades about what Sculthorpe meant to Australian music, and of course the arguments were totally flimsy.
Yeah.
However, people that come from, say, New York and had listened to Sculthorpe's music and then actually went to Australia, went out back at Victoria, and felt that Sculthorpe's music in that very sort of surrealistic, open sound of all the strings and the woodwinds doing all these really cacophonous nature sounds. I mean, that individual felt that those sounds were really well reflected by Sculthorpe's music. So from
Yeah.
their standpoint, it actually works. But what's really curious about that is that, say, another one of Sculthorpe's really famous pieces is Kakadu. Now, he'd never been to Kakadu,
Oh, okay.
so he just thought of an Australian name for a sound. He was just trying to imagine what it'd be like being there.
Well, I mean, do you know, is that the way? What if he wrote the piece first and then thought of whatever seemed to fit as far as a name?
Yeah, well, I think that's it
You don't
too.
really know without asking him, I guess.
I think Russell said he was trying to imagine what the place was like
Okay. Yeah.
to some degree. So, but again, it's really subjective. It's really personal, and there's nothing wrong with trying to, what is an Australian stick sound, but
Mm,
I mean, it's still a very personal association to be made.
yeah.
Much
Oh,
like
even when the few of us have got together, everyone's got a totally different tone and different approach on the instrument. So I think it's pretty standard across the globe. The sound varies totally according to the user. So
yeah,
there's not really a key influence for the community here. Everyone's got
no,
their own. Yeah.
everyone's got their own sound, and I suppose you could say that eventually, well, when as we keep on playing, there's some impact. There's always an impact on the local culture, whether it be really obvious, like an understood sort of Australian sound, or whether it's just a small impact that is really significant to a few people. Like I know
Mm,
Andy gets so many beautiful comments about people hearing him in the Rundle Mall, and he's an Australian figure, musically speaking, stick, and it really moves people on a deep level, just in that very simple way between two people, or
yeah.
his fans, But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
going back the other way.
Oh no, I was just going to say, what are some of the comments you've had at some of your appearances or gigs or anything,
Yeah,
especially from non-musicians?
yeah. Well,
Well, actually, it doesn't really matter. Listeners of any sort.
yeah, that was really interesting. Well, that was
Please
good.
elaborate.
Like,
Please
there was
explain.
a tiny bit of a butt in there. That was really good.
But
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm happy to say that different folk have somehow really really enjoyed whatever I've been able to present.
Yeah.
Whether it's not quite there sometimes, or if I'm feeling confident with it. So I mean, I just think that's part of me loving this thing so much as a way of expressing those sounds that I hear.
Mm.
We've got
Oh,
Emmett,
people get that. Yeah, they'd
Greg, and
hear.
Bob, and Steve, all the cats here for that kind of support, and
Mm.
give that opportunity to move forward your head with some kind of sound and creative identity. But
Mm.
I feel it more than in terms of a creative sound. I mean, I feel it through this more than drums now. But I love playing drums.
Yeah.
So much music that you get to know over the years.
Mm.
I mean, I actually had to say, like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I used to say that the stick was inspiring me to play drums a whole lot better, a whole lot more, and in different ways too. So that was a really big bonus. This thing actually made me fall in love with drums a bit more,
Yeah.
And then for a while, I remember actually in Melbourne when things weren't going so well, I thought, stuff the drums. I just want them out of my life. All I want to do is
Okay.
focus on this alone and be completely professional, happening, and all that stuff.
Mm.
And once I got that out of my system, eventually, then it was like, oh, okay, I'm all right now. I can play this. I can keep playing drums with stuff like the Schwing thing with that great trio I've got down there with Julius Schwing and Hamish Houston. Hyper
Mm.
progressive, loud playing band.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah, but that's the best. Yeah, but that's the best fun I've had on drums for a long time.
Yeah.
And so both instruments are in a good place now. I think.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I certainly felt the same about bass, but yeah, yeah. I guess it comes back to seeing it for what it is, and not sort of blurring the intention too much. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's funny, isn't it, when you have to reconcile those two things?
Oh well, there's been a few discussions lately on stickists and so on about if you've got limited time, and then how do you balance practicing on multiple instruments that are quite distinct and different.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's no benefit crossover. Obviously, stick and guitar, or stick and bass and piano, you still get some benefits practicing one across to the other, especially if you're
yeah.
looking at technique or melody or yeah. But,
You know, I think so much of it's really imposing a standard on yourself. If I'm imagining that I want to be at this, which I've openly said that a lot, that I've sort of had this really high ideal, of where I want to be. I want to be able to play pretty amazing shit.
yeah.
And so that's right. That's great, but it's really destructive because it's all I get stuck in my head about where I want to be, and the more I get on, I start thinking of practice is just like going to the office. Like, practice doesn't have to be all super inspired and really rosy and amazing time with yourself all the time. If
Yeah.
I remember, like, Andrew Gander is one of Australia's best drummers, and he used to say that practice for him was his life, but it was also, he called it going to the office.
Yeah.
So it's like he just has his practice very well organised. I
Yeah.
think it's really, really good to feel really dry and kind of really straightforward about your practice sometimes.
Well, there's a professionality about it too. If you
Yeah,
yeah, if you go into practice or even jam in your studio or whatever with a bit of a lax attitude, yeah, you're not necessarily going to get a result out of it.
yeah. Or if I'm just relying on do I feel like practicing today,
Yeah. Yeah.
which can easily fall into the camp of, oh, I'm such a creative musician on the stick, it's my creative fantasy. You know,
Well.
which is great. It's an awesome thing to have, but ultimately there comes a point where I have to just say to myself, that's just I'm just playing that same thing again. I've got to stop and just. It's
Yeah.
really okay for me to feel really, really
Yeah.
straightforward and kind of.
Where are you now? Where do you want to be? Yeah. There's work involved. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said to a bass student yesterday, as part of a university exam rehearsal, he's playing a lot of Jaco Pastorius and stuff, and I said, "Do you practice much?" You could hear that he doesn't. He's struggling, but he loves. He's got a really nice musical approach, and
Yeah.
I said to him the same thing that I've been saying to myself this last fortnight. Um, yeah, just take all the BS out of it, and if I actually think about where I want to be, and actually just physically organise myself to practice those things that will support that outcome, then it just takes away that whole emotional intensity, that sort of guilt, or the sort of lofty honeymoon idea that I've got with me and my instrument,
Yeah.
Like, you've got to keep it, checks and balances, got to keep it,
Makes sense?
Yeah, but hey, let me just try and play something after that moment of excitement and moral outrage.
Remember
Creative
something.
moral outrage. I'm going to try and play just a really shell arrangement of a song by Tim Neal. It's a Hammond player in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
So one of his jazz songs that I learned. See how this goes.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. That's the
Nice.
lazy Aussie thickest jazz standard, you know.
Oop, excuse me.
So yeah, speaking like the whole, you know, speaking of chordal movement and the love of chords, you know, it's such a great thing there that Tim wrote for his partner Christine. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yes, we probably better call to an end before I run out
yeah,
of disk space.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it hasn't died yet, so I think it's all good at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
Is there any last minute things you can think of that you want to say?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's just you know, just good having a chin wagon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I suppose everyone's got such a different approach to this instrument,
Mm.
and yeah, just I think it's just a great thing if you can sometimes just having a concept of whatever it is I'm trying to express. Once you get more of a sense of a voice,
Yeah.
it's great to just really value that by just making it a part of your practice, like thinking of bring the tool set, I suppose, the actual the, the known stick knowledge, bring all
Mm.
those biases, whether it's melodies, arpeggios, try to flesh out each kind of musical device in your own creative way. Something that once I know once I felt like I was starting to make up my own kind of exercises or phrases and being able to repeat
Yeah.
that's where the energy and the impetus for having a creative voice really starts to take off.
Okay.
Just whacking ideas down on Sibelius or pencil and paper or whatever, and
Mm.
then just it's a bit like composers have like a whole bunch of pages of just ideas that they're not fully formed ideas,
Oh
but
yeah.
sometimes if 3 months ahead, if I'm trying to write a piece and I've run out of ideas, I go back into the folder of bits of
Sketchbook.
paper. You just pick
Yeah.
out something and it's like, oh, that works. I just find that was kind of how I started getting ahead with practice, is just having a few nice pages of ideas. I come down and sit down and just play those. So it took the mental anguish out of how am I going to get good on this thing? Where am I
Yeah.
going? Which I think can be a bit of an issue for younger, the intermediate, the sort of post beginners getting into intermediate
Oh, okay.
stickers.
Yeah. There's quite a number of stages. Yeah.
Well, it's that thing of like, with Ben Kenobi said, this is a little bit of knowledge is dangerous.
Mm.
This is a delicate time for you where you'll be swayed by the dark side. Yeah. Anyway, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Conrad.
Been good fun
Hopefully,
research.
hopefully this will save correctly and we can get it uploaded for everyone to have a look at. So yeah, I'll sign off. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone looking now and in the future, as you said before. So hope you guys enjoyed Freehands Friday, possibly number 39 or 40, with Konrad Park, host Justin Levis. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.